Hi, this is Brian Pasch, CEO of PCG Consulting, and this is part one in a six-part series on how to use LinkedIn to create a business referral network. In part one, we will create an independent email account which you will use to create your first LinkedIn profile. As you can see in the red highlighted section, this is the first part of a six-part series. I hope you've already listened to the introduction video, which explains why LinkedIn is an important tool for sales professionals to use. So let's get started and create our email account. Okay, so in this section we are going to create a free Google Gmail account. Now what I did is I just opened up my web browser and I typed in the word Gmail into the Google search box, and you can see that Gmail is the first search result. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that result. Now, since Google knows the last time I logged in with one of my email accounts, which is obviously clearly Brian at PCG Digital Marketing, we're going to clear that out. And we need to create an account. Now, up here on the upper right hand side where it says create an account, that's what you're going to do. Now, if you already have a Gmail account, you can skip this step and just move forward to setting up your LinkedIn profile. But I'm confident that some people in the sales community have never set up LinkedIn and probably have never set up a independent email account, and this is a good time to do it. Now there's some other benefits of setting up a Gmail account, meaning that there's a number of free programs that Google offers, like Google Calendar, Webmaster Tools, Google Analytics, well, the list goes on, and all of them are connected to your Gmail account. So whether you're a techie or just a traditional salesperson and you want to take advantage of some of the free tools like Google Docs and such, creating a Gmail account is a useful step. So I'm going to click on create an account, and what it's going to do is just ask you to put in some very basic information. For this example, I'm going to create a LinkedIn profile for a fictitious person. This way you can follow along and make your own account with actually your name. And the idea is that Google wants real people to be setting up Google accounts. So for this example, after I create all these accounts, I'll just delete them, but it's for your education. So let's go ahead and just put in, I'm going to say Brian Dune. Why Dune? Well, I like Frank Herbert's novel Dune. So the username could be Brian Dune at gmail.com. Somebody already has that. So if your name, your regular name is already taken, maybe Mr. Brian Dune, okay, that worked out fine. So I'm going to go ahead and put in my password, and I won't necessarily tell you what that is. Okay, and then you pick a birthday. My birthday just happens to be January 23rd, 1962. I am a male. And then you can put in your mobile phone or an email address. You're going to want to verify your account. Now, if you don't have a mobile phone that has texting capabilities, you would leave this off. So let me just put in my current email address, which is Brian at PCG Mailer. Now, the reason why we want to put in our current email address is Google wants to confirm that Brian Dune is a real person, and that they can confirm whether it's a mobile phone or an email. Of course, the mobile phone is there because if someone doesn't have any other email address, of course, they have to use a mobile phone. But in this case, I'm going to confirm. And then you have these CAPTCHA codes, as they call them. And you could see that if you can't read one of them, you could just hit the little refresh button. And so I can see this one now pretty well. So I'm going to type in, now your CAPTCHA code is going to be different. And I'm going to type this in, CESLAMI. Okay, location in the United States. You have to click on the agree and to the next step. Now it worked, meaning I typed in the right CAPTCHA code. If you guessed wrong, you just have to do it again. Now it just says, all right, you want to show as Brian Doon, and so if I am Brian Doon, that's exactly how I would want to appear. And then you really want to add a profile photo. Now the reason why you want to add a profile photo is because if you're a sales professional and you also want to build your brand to appear in Google search results, well, your Gmail account is really important for that. That will be another training about setting up your own Google Plus profile, but you need to have a Gmail account. Now, in this particular case, you could just add a profile photo and click on that and click on select a photo from your computer. And I'm going to go down and I have some headshots here. There we go. Brian Pasch headshot, there it is. And just adjust the cropping. Click on set as profile photo. And now we have created a Gmail account with a profile photo. We'll click on next step. Now, it's told me now that my new email address is mrbriandoon@gmail. So if you were Scott Cherry, it would be maybe scottcherry@gmail.com or mrscottcherry@gmail.com. Everyone would be different. And then you can go ahead and continue to Gmail. Now, once you are here, you can take a quick tour about how to use Gmail. The reason why we created this Gmail account was so that we have an independent email address that's not associated with our current employer. Now, if you have a Yahoo email address, if you have an AOL email address, and you believe those two entities will still be around in the next few years, go ahead and use those and skip this step. But if you also want to brand yourself on Google search results, having your own Gmail account and eventually your own Google Plus account will allow you to brand yourself in Google search with your photo, which of course will be another lesson. So here we are. The only thing I wanted to show you is that we created an email address called mrbriandoon@gmail.com. We're going to use this to create our LinkedIn account. Once you create this Gmail account, of course, you could use it to create other accounts as well for your personal branding training that PCG will give you. This is basically your universal key to creating personal branding tools that will stand the test of time, regardless of what employer you're working for, and be able to continually build your brand year after year through your referral network. So we're going to stop right here and just take a minute to show you how you need to confirm your Google email address, because remember, it asks for your existing email address, so that can be your current employer. So we'll just take a minute to go in and see what that email looked like. All right, so I wanted to show you that Google will send to your current email address a confirmation email. It's a way to just know that you set up your Gmail account properly. It's encouraging you to log into your email account just to make sure you know how to read your email. And this is important because as we set up your LinkedIn account, you will need to go in and confirm your membership to LinkedIn. So you'll notice that Google's Gmail team sent me an email to Brian Doon. That was the name I used to create this account. And they are offering some tips, meaning if you wanted to load up your contacts that you already have into Gmail, you can. Also letting you know that there's a mobile app for Gmail. But most importantly, it's suggesting that you should go ahead and log in to your mail account just to make sure that you know how to do it. And of course, I recommend that. So what we want to do then is go ahead and click on the link that's here and make sure that we can log in. So let's go ahead, find that email in your inbox and go ahead and check it and click on it to make sure that you can log in. Okay, so when you click on that link, you should go to the Gmail login. And then again, I'm just going to use the account that I created, which was Mr. Brian Doon at gmail.com. And I'm going to put in my password and log in. Now notice what will happen. It will come to the screen. Now, most of you, if you've created a Gmail account, we'll see similar, a few initial messages. These are messages from Google to show you how to use Gmail. Now, this tutorial is not a lesson on how to use Google Gmail. There's a number of videos that you can watch if you go to YouTube and just learn about how to do Gmail. But basically, you have your inbox here. And sent mail, of course, I haven't sent any mail right now. So your inbox, it's important that you'll know that when you log in, it automatically goes to the inbox. And when we use this account to set up LinkedIn, we will see an email message from LinkedIn that we'll need to confirm. So now that we have our Gmail account created and we've logged in to check our inbox messages, we are ready to go over to LinkedIn.com and create our new account. You'll see that you'll need a first name, last name, your email address, and that will be the new Gmail account we just created, and you'll create a password. We'll go ahead and click on the join now and we'll get started. But that will be in part 2 of the video training. If you'd like copies of all 6 learning modules and the introduction on LinkedIn training for sales professionals, clients of PCG Consulting, of course, can request access to the sales training videos by calling our office at 732-450-8200 or just talking to your account representative. So let's get started on part 2. Please take a moment to click on that link to kick off the training.